My 23 female best friend 23 female laughed at me, and said that my husband 24 male was a catch, and that I was lucky if she doesn't take him away. I don't know if I should tell him. I want to apologize in advance for any typo because I am on the phone. Yesterday my husband Adam and I hosted a small party at our house to celebrate that we were finally vaccinated. Nothing crazy, just us. 8 or 9 friends and a bunch of food and music. Obviously my best friend, Ava, was there, alongside her boyfriend and her sister. My husband and I've known them since I was 16, and they were the ones who introduced me to him. I knew back then that Ava had a crush on Adam, but it seems that he never noticed it. She never told him because they never dated, and as the 16-year-old girl I felt attracted to him the moment we met, but I never tried or said anything to my respect and friendship to Ava. At first Ava could go for hours about how perfect Adam was and how perfect he was for him. He has always been funny, and every time we were around him nobody could stop laughing. Back then I honestly believed that she was the one who was meant to marry him, and not me, but they never had a real conversation, and he never tried to really know her. We became more close after our moms started to work at the same grocery shop because Adam used to drop my mother and sometimes he would stay for dinner. I was honest with Ava the whole time, and she told me that she grew tired of how difficult Adam was because no longer after that she started to date someone else. Maybe a year after that he and I started to date too, and we eventually got married. At some point in the party the guys took their shirt off and started to battle with his pecs. Adam became a gym rat in his early 20s, so he has a good shape. Ava started to talk about how much of a hottie he was. That he could hug her and break her on the spot, and that she would say thanks, and that the view could be better if it was only Adam without his shirt off. Mid knew I've never been the jealous type, and I thought that she was joking at first, so I said, "Don't you dare, Ava. He chose me after all." And made a random pose, but I guess that I struck a nerve because the face she gave me, it's the most furious one I've ever seen in her. She took my arm and took me to my bedroom to tell me that I shouldn't be so naughty, and that I shouldn't forget that my husband was a catch because I stole him from her. I was utterly confused, and I tried to apologize for hurting her. But she told me that I was lucky enough if she didn't took him away after that to help him end his charity work. At the end that hurt me. But I decided to pretend for the rest of the party, and now my husband has began to ask me if everything it's okay. I know that Ava is gonna apologize to me. But I don't know if I should tell him before or after that because I know he will be mad at her. Update. I want to thank anyone who put some time aside to read me and tried to help. A few things happened after that, and the last thing I could think of was getting into Reddit, so I didn't answer any comment or message. I am sorry. First of all, I want to answer the big question. One, when Adam and I realized that we had feelings for each other, I rejected him at first because I knew that Ava had always wanted to be with him. He tried to take me on a date a few times after and before I said yes, Ava, and I had a long talk. She said that she didn't mind because she was already dating someone else because, again, she felt that Adam was being too hard and to take my shot. We began to date after that. So back into what happened. Ava came to my house with a cake the next morning and told me that she was drunk. Sorry, and didn't know why she said what she said. I gathered some courage after reading your comments and asked her if she still had feelings for my husband, and she said that she wasn't sure, and more than having feelings, she felt humiliated because he never saw her twice but felt drawn to me. She said that she was still attracted to him, but nothing that involved real feelings. I don't know if she realized that she told me that she wanted to sleep with my husband, but no more than that. I said that even thinking of wanting that was disrespectful, and with everything that she said at the party, I've had enough. She tried to argue about how it wasn't that big of a deal. That I was overreacting, and just to get over it like I always do and be friends. I told her that that was the only reason we were still friends. Because I always had to suck it up, her being so rude all the time in order to maintain the peace. She always has to say something about the way I live my life, and her wanting to duck my husband was the last straw, and asked her to leave my house. Which she did. That same night I decided to tell Adam what happened, and boy, He was mad as hell. He told me that back then he knew that Ava had feelings for him, but he never felt the same, and between meeting me and dating me, she started to be more aggressive about it. They even kissed at a party, and he stopped talking to her for a few weeks, so she would get the message. She never tried anything again until the night before we got married, when she texted him a picture with no clothes on and said that he still has time to back out from the wedding. He deleted all the messaged. Never answered her and decided not to tell me because she was my maid of honor. After that he decided to just the friendship with her and focus on other things. When she tried something, even if it was just talk, he would just shove her off and leave the room. My husband apologized for not telling me that before, but assured me that he never gave her reasons to make her think he would leave me, and I believed him. I told him that my friendship with her had ended, and he said that he was sorry because he knew how much I loved her as a friend. That's it, guys. Ava hasn't texted or called, and our relationship is finally over. It took me a big one to realize that she wasn't my friend at all. But that's how life is sometimes. It's crazy sometimes how much people get conditioned to put up with. I'm glad she recognized a pattern of behavior and stopped subjecting herself to that friendship. I am sorry, but this friend texted OP husband a lewd picture the night before their wedding, and he didn't tell her. I think that's information someone tells their significant other so they know who their friend is, and the friend can't turn it around and say he didn't tell you, to make it seem like he was an accomplice. Also, what does shove her off mean? Like, did she try to get physical and he pushed her away? Or like he'd just ignore her and leave? Don't forget that the reason why he didn't tell her was that she was the maid of honor. He basically willingly went to get married with a woman whose maid of honor sent him a lewd picture the night before. Anyone's starting to suspect that this husband isn't telling her everything. 'Cause that's not how normal people behave. I completely agree. Unless he's just super dumb, the story doesn't add up. Like, how could you stand at an altar with the woman you love knowing the maid of honor sent a lewd picture the night before and just not say anything? Then he says he decided to end the friendship, but willingly kept information from OP when he knew this girl was not her real friend, which probably encouraged the friend. He should have given OP the facts so she could make her own decisions. Unless he wanted the friend around cause he liked the attention. I still want to know what OP meant by he would shove her off. Does that mean she tried more stuff, or is that another term for ignoring someone? This matters to me because if she tried more stuff, and he still didn't tell OP, I'd be even more suspicious. I don't think he cheated, because if he had, the friend would have been all too gleeful to tell OP, but I also don't think he's telling the full truth either. And OP was oblivious this whole time that her husband was avoiding her friend and would walk out of a room she was in. I'd be furious if my husband did this to me. Thank God I never want to get married. Second story. I am deeply unhappy where I am now. At the end of this month, I, 24 female, have been with my boyfriend 32 male for 4 years. When I met him, I was totally captivated by him. We met online through odd circumstances, through mutual online friends. He was sweet and gentle, and still is. He was also an alcoholic when we met. I put up with a lot from him during the years that he drank. He definitely had a temper and was prone to spiraling into either anger or sadness. Part of me now feels like that was a great distraction for me from other parts of my life that were difficult, particularly my parents' relationship and the damage there. I never saw my boyfriend drunk in person. When we met up, he would withdraw and deal with that, and then start drinking again when I'd go home. I was proud of him for at least doing that, because it is very difficult. He's been sober now, however, for almost 2 years. I am very proud of him. I was really happy in the first year of his sobriety. But for the past 3 out of the 4 years we've been together, I was desperately trying to move in with him for multiple reasons. Mainly because I wanted him to be sober, and I knew he wouldn't drink if I was around. Another was just wanting to be independent from my parents. There's also a university out here that has a major perfect for my career. I also thought it would be more convenient for us both. It's easier living with someone than it is by yourself when it comes to things like money, car troubles, etc. However, his credit was pretty bad, and he was in debt along with it, just never wound up being the right time. Also, he would not put in the effort that he wouldn't look at places or act quickly enough when applying to new listings on Zillow or stuff. I think we applied to 2 places together over the course of those 3 years. I started to get fed up over the summer of 2021. And I was pretty much set on ending things if he didn't contribute more to getting me to his state by August. Well, cue mid-June. He's getting evicted from his place. Not because of anything he did. He just wasn't on the lease, and the new landlord wanted to get rid of any tenants that weren't on leases after COVID eviction moratoriums were ending. Pretty sure it was still illegal, but he gave him until August 1st. Along with other tenants in the building as well. His roommate offered to go to court about it, but my partner figured he just had to bust his ass now. Took him all of a few days to reach out to a few places along with family to see if they knew anyone looking for a roommate. I explicitly said that he needed to find a place at least for himself. Not necessarily with me. Turns out, his sister, 30 female, is looking for someone to replace her roommate who wanted to break the lease. And the rent was in our price range together, but not by himself. So I agreed to move in with him into her place. There's definitely been ups and downs. His sister is in therapy for a lot of anger management and such, and she's just a moody person in general, so that's been stressful. Sometimes she's totally fine and enjoyable to be around, but as soon as something irritates her, she loses it and becomes very passive-aggressive at first, and then will progressively get angrier if you don't give her the attention she wants. My boyfriend has mainly been the one to deal with that because he knows how to. I shut down with people like that and refuse to deal with someone in their 30s behaving like a teenager. Our lease is coming up at the end of this month now, and it's either going to be we find our own place, which again I feel has been my responsibility. He's applied with me wherever I have. But that's also partially because I feel like he knows the stakes now. He's not comfortable and not worrying about the lease like he was in his previous living situation. I feel like he was very comfortable just living where he was and not doing anything to move us in together before. Our other option is moving in again with his sister in a new complex, which I'd prefer not to do, but with the market right now, seems like we might have to because our price range isn't giving us many options. Something else that has been bothering me over the course of us living together is that I feel like the stereotypical "oh my tendies girlfriend." Literally. He doesn't behave that way, but he plays games literally all day on his days off. And as soon as he gets home from work, I feel like he's rarely off the computer. If he's not able to play, he's reading the forums about the game. Or whatever else. Don't take this the wrong way. I play those games with him, and my own as well. I play my fair share of video games, but damn, I also go to school, do my work, cook most nights, clean our spaces. The only things he really does is take out the trash, and he wouldn't do that if his sister didn't just leave it in the hallway and do our dishes sometimes. He used to clean up the kitchen after I'd cook, but now I don't even bother asking because it's just like, he'll be busy in his game and take forever to do it, and I'd rather just get it done and make sure everything is clean so I don't hear about it from his sister. He used to do our dishes at night. Now he just leaves them for me to do when he has to work, or cleans them the following afternoon if it's a day off. He also just doesn't really initiate X, because he'll get into bed at 12 a.m. and we're both tired. We usually have X a few times a week, but it's been over a week now, I think. Mostly because this game expansion has come out. It makes me not even want to play because I feel like it's all he does, all he wants to do, all he thinks about and cares about. It makes me incapable of enjoying the game that we play together. Last night, He gets into bed a bit before 1, and I expressed that I was irritated about it because I was hoping for intimacy or literally any kind of attention. I feel like I have to pout in order for him to give me attention sometimes. Or for him to realize that he's not paid any attention to me all day aside from going outside with him for a smoke or thank you for breakfast dinner. Some conversation about what he's doing in the game, etc. I almost feel like I am outgrowing him. I don't know, it's just all concerning. Part of me wants to just go back home. Part of me wants to move to a state where I can afford to live by myself and just start over. I know I am young and I have my life ahead of me, yet I feel like I am a walking stereotype of someone who has so much to offer, yet I am throwing it away on someone who could care less. He's vocal about how he cares. Yet I don't really see it in his actions at the end of the day. I had an emotional conversation with him about this maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I was deeply upset and said, what's the point of me being here if you're going to act like I am not? He just shuts down and acts like it's only about the video games. Like I am trying to control what he does. What do you want me to do then? Etc. I don't even know what I want him to do. I'd just like some effort. Some attention. Something. I wouldn't care if he played all the time, if I felt like I was getting more out of the relationship. I just feel lost and confused. I feel like I only want to be intimate with him sometimes, so that there can be some sort of attention there. Some sort of connection, but it's hard to want to get it on with someone who I almost feel like doesn't deserve it. I haven't talked to my parents about it really because I struggle with communicating that I am struggling to them. I am scared that if I leave, he'll be out on his ass or that he'll start drinking again. I am worried that it'll be my fault. Too long didn't read. I feel like the only person putting effort into my relationship and I am stuck. Should I move ahead with my girlfriend of 2 years? I am posting this as I feel very confused about it. I am 33 male and in a relationship with my girlfriend 28 female since 2 years now. When we initially met, there was attraction and I felt very happy. All that charm is lost now. Here are a few points below about her. She prioritizes her sister and mom over me. This used to be a lot, and when I spoke to her she has reduced that to quite a bit of extent. But recently we were about to move in together. But she went to see her mom and sister. She did ask me before if I was cool with it. She says she regrets having me do all the move alone and feels bad. But still is sticking on coming back at the original date because her sister will feel alone due to her boyfriend being sick and their mom leaving. We have had no action since almost a year. She does bring it up time and again, but as I mentioned above, the attraction for me is gone. I do watch lewd content every now and then, and this is something I feel I need to address. I feel she is generally caring. Tends to me when I am sick. Cooks for me. When we are on dates. She does not take her sister or her mom's call. But sometimes I feel she's not as empathetic as I am. Example. When I say my work has been hectic, she just says she's sorry to hear it and nothing beyond it. I feel she is smart and planner like me, but she likes things done her way. I am equally stubborn, and though this has not resulted in any big fights, we have often had decisions lead to stalemates in decisions. But for the most part, when it comes to food, going to events and watching shows, we are both open to whichever. She used to be clingy, and after 1 year we sat down and had a talk. She realizes how much time she takes of mine and has worked on it to be less clingy. Example. By visiting her sister or friends, etc. We also have Sundays as self-focused days. My biggest worries are her prioritizing her mom and sister even more after marriage. B. Our stubbornness leading to stalemates. C. X life. D. Her wanting kids. I am neutral, but afraid I won't be a good father, not love my child. Overall, I am confused if it is me overthinking. I am an only child and have been told I am a bit selfish sometimes and overthink things, or if any of you guys would have been in my place. think the same way about her. Maybe it's an attitude adjustment I need to do at my end. Too long didn't read. 2-year girlfriend. Lost attraction. Girlfriend seems to prioritize family over me. Stubborn and clingy but has improved over the years. Unsure if I should continue with her and unsure if the issue is with me or her. The lack of X would be a deal breaker for me. But that depends entirely on your priorities. Don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Read r/dead bedroom for insight into your possible future. Only you know if the pros outweigh the cons for you. Listen to your gut and your heart. So you're in a 2-year relationship and haven't had physical intimacy for the whole 2nd year. That's a big red flag. Can you clarify about moving in together? Did she just leave you to do the move yourself but still lives with you now? Or like, she backed out of the plan at the last minute because her younger sister would be lonely. What? How old is she? Limited info so far, but it sounds like your GF is already partially checked out of this whole thing. And that's why she flaked on the move in. Oh no. That's my bad. Let me clarify. So basically we moved in together due to COVID in 2020. But then she moved out because of her work. It was still 1st year, and I backed out of moving together. Then come end of 2021. We kept meeting and initially she was reluctant to move in with me. But later we kept discussing and finally decided that we will move in together to a 2-bed. Her mom came to visit her and her sister after we decided. And she did check with me if it's okay. And I was cool with it and did not anticipate the amount of effort the move would take. As far as your questions, my intention is she will be joining me after she comes back from her sister. Her sis is 25. My girlfriend is a little overprotective of her and realizes it. Honestly, the things you mentioned don't seem all that bad. Except maybe the mother-sister situation. I understand why that would be a concern. But based on what you wrote, it seems she's working on it. I just get a sense you want out. The reason really doesn't matter. Unless this is a cycle you've been through with other girlfriends. In which case you may have a fear of commitment. Hit like. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to our channel.